Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 7 Minutes with the Savior. Randy Fry with you. I'm the pastor at Gower Christian Church, and just grateful that you are joining us this morning. It is 7 Minutes with the Savior, and there is our timer. Boom. I just want to kind of whet your appetite for worship this Sunday. We're continue going through the Beatitudes, and this Sunday it's blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. And peacemaking, man, what an important quality of character for times like we are in right now. In peacemaking, it's a verb, peacemaking. And so I think a lot of times we think about peacemaking as passivity, just not absence of conflict. But the Jewish way of thinking about peace, which is shalom, and certainly this would have been the forefront of Jesus' mind, was wholeness, wellness, well-being. And I think I've mentioned that to you before, but it's important again to think about for this week and for worship this Sunday. When Jesus is talking about making peace, he's talking about making wholeness. And sometimes that takes action, not just passivity, not just refusing to be in conflict. Jesus confronted systems and people that were not committed to making people well, making people whole. And so he wasn't passive about this peace thing. Sometimes he took action. And that's something we have to understand about peacemaking. I want to tell you this story. This is a great story from the news that one of our congregation members, John Seaver, posted on his Facebook page. These three guys are inmates at the Gwinnett County Jail. Their names are Terry Lovelace, Walter Whitehead, and Mitchell Smalls. And these three guys were peacemakers, believe it or not, in their circumstances. I have a background in criminal justice. I spent more than three, probably more like 5 years as a child care officer for the Minnehaha County Juvenile Detention Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So I was essentially a jailer for juveniles. I also did an internship at the Minnehaha County Jail for a couple of months. And that's eye-opening. You know, let's be honest, jailers don't usually hold a real high opinion of the inmates. And in the culture of the jail, the inmates are generally, I don't want to stereotype, but frequently they try to get away with what they can. They try to stretch their privileges, and it's almost a game, but it's a part of the culture. These guys, though, did something really unique. The deputy for their wing, the jailer for their wing, did some security checks, and he went to his desk and had a severe medical problem. He passed out, fell to the floor, hit his head, was bleeding profusely. And these guys saw it, started pounding on their doors. In fact, the whole wing began pounding on their doors to try to get the attention of somebody else. The ill jailer kind of came to his senses for a couple of moments, wasn't exactly sure what was going on, but what he did was he hit the button that unlocked all the cell doors. And these three gentlemen, Terry Lovelace, Walter Whitehead, and Mitchell Smalls, left their cells and came to the aid of the sick deputy. They began administering first aid. They used his radio and the phone to call other officials to come help them. And this is peacemaking. They were in a system that doesn't necessarily contribute to their wellness. It's not, we need jails, but these are not places where a lot of wholeness takes place. And yet here are these three guys, despite the culture of most detention facilities, they made peace. They helped somebody who they would generally consider antagonistic to them. And it's a great story, and it's what peacemaking Jesus meant when he talks about peacemakers. A little bit in Luke chapter 6, verses 27 to 35, he expands on this. But I say to you that listen, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. And then a little bit longer on, do to others as you would have them do to you. Love your enemies, a little bit later on. Love your enemies, do good and lend, expecting nothing in return. Your reward will be great, and you will be called children of the Most High. So important. And I just wanted, this was a great story I wanted to share with you today about people in the midst of systems that are definitely distorted and not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Here were three guys who were peacemakers, concerned about the wellness of another human being, even though their circumstances had them in an adversarial kind of relationship. So kudos to those guys. They deserve my low-tech flyover. And so for Terry Lovelace, Walter Whitehead, and Mitchell Smalls, you get to fly over today. That's my time. Prayer concerns, good reports on all fronts. Ernie Lawrenson did well with his surgery and getting a good result from that. Irma Brinton got a good result for her surgery and is as feisty as ever. So we're grateful that she came through that surgery well, and she'll be going through some time of rehab, of course. Have not heard about Bill Gilliland yet and his kidney transplant, but we continue to pray for that. Also continue to remember Irma Brinton, and also Tim Shelton, who's dealing with cancer diagnosis as well. This is a relative of Terry Johnson. Ministry continues on this week. We'll have Bible study here in about 30 minutes via Zoom. This weekend, worship at 10:30, either in person at our Antioch Fellowship Center or through our Facebook and YouTube channels. And then we are going to try to do a youth Zoom that Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, and the details are on the Gower Christian Church Parents and Youth page, so check that for details. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and until we see each other again, I bid you peace.